In the meantime, if governors of the All Progressives Congress, but before we bring you that story, let's now go yet again live to Abuja, venue of the National Convention of the All Progressives Congress, held to elect the presidential flag bearer of the party. Our correspondent, Sheon Kimbaloye, joins me now to bring us up to speed with events. Hello again, Sheon. What's new to tell, particularly within the last half hour since we spoke?
At the Eagle Square. I told you earlier that the registration and accreditation is happening at the International Conference Center and the other part of town. But now some of the delegates have started arriving. I can tell you that on the Lagos, Ogun, Osun stands, we can see delegates in their state colors. They are already getting seated there. And of course, we've seen some activities different from what we saw in the last hour. It looks to me that maybe in the next 1 hour, we might see the events getting started in essence. But really, what we're going to be seeing in any moment from now, the arrival of guests, then the speeches, then the voting exercise, which is slated to commence at about 6 p.m. But joining us on this track at this moment is the chairman of the Electoral Committee of the APC Special National Convention and the Presidential Primary. Is the governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma. He joins us right now on News Track. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us at this hour. Give us an understanding of how many delegates we are expected to have at this arena today.
Well, we are expecting 2,360 delegates from across the 774 local governments in Nigeria. And accreditation has substantially been completed. And any moment from now, all the delegates from across the country will be seated in their various stands. You will see how colorful this place is. We've walked throughout the week, all night and day, to ensure that this place is properly put in place, because this is the climax of our transition program. Today, by the grace of God, APC will be choosing the man who will fly our flag in the presidential election for 2023 handover.
Maybe my mathematics is not that good, but I guess it's 3 delegates per local government. So if you do the mathematics, it should give us about 2,340. But you said 2,340.
Yes, okay. 2,340.
Mathematics is correct then.
Correct.
All right. So let's ask you, and what
the delegates here are people who are voting, are the electoral delegates. We also have some observers. We also have some monitors. So if we put together, in terms of the number of people being expected here, we'll be talking about a differential of almost 20 to 30 individuals.
Thank you so much. There was some kind of opera at the ICC, some delegates agitating about the delegate list. Did anything change on the delegate list?
Nothing changed, because like you see, the new Electoral Act has involved INEC substantially in most of the internal party activities. So there's no possibility of anybody changing names of delegates. In ICC, what happened was some boys came, tried to smuggle their way into the hall, and they were stopped. As at the time they made the noise, accreditation have not started with Enugu. And until you are accredited and the tag issued to you, you are not a delegate yet. So that is what has happened. I have explained this thing before this time, that there's no how any delegate will be locked out here. And the man who is in charge of our accreditation committee, the governor of Ogun State, deployed an automated technology that is being used, so is using to accredit people with the various security features. So it is also watertight that for anybody to come in illegally to answer a delegate when he's not a delegate, it will be almost impossible.
So confirm to us that the names of the delegates are already firmed up before now. So there are no new delegates that is alien to the party at this hour.
The Electoral Act said that delegates for this convention will be elected for this purpose, and only those elected, monitored by INEC, are the real delegates to this convention, and we are keeping strictly to that, because any failure on the side of compliance may vitiate all these efforts we put together here today.
Right, because I'm itching to know how this exercise will get underway, but quickly also on the issue of the delegate. There are some states that are having issues with their election, which is going to affect the delegates for this election. Is any state going to be left out from this process, especially those ones that have controversies on their delegates and their election and congresses in their states?
I think the only thing that can stop any state from fielding delegates, unless there is a court judgment or a judicial pronouncement. Outside that, the list given to us by the party is the list that the committee will use strictly. There will be no change.
Give us an understanding. Have you arrived at the consensus candidate for your party? Because we understand that there were nocturnal meetings all through early hours of today. We understand that you came to about 5 names, but have you narrowed down to one? We understand that the president has asked that you narrow down to one person. Have you been able to achieve that?
Well, I'm the chairman of Convention Planning Committee. And my duty here is to organize a convention that will produce our flag bearer. And to that extent, I will rely solely on the guidelines given to me by the party. However, you know APC. APC is used to consensus. I'm almost certain that by the end of today, the party will be able to produce a consensus candidate. Where it is not possible to produce, we will conduct an election that will be very transparent, clear, and acceptable to all.
On a final note, does the president have interest in any of the candidates that we met today?
I'm sure that the president's interest is to have a successful convention, to the extent that he will be happy that whoever that will emerge is somebody who is in position to win us the election. Of course, he's the leader of the party, but I'm not sure whether there will be any selfish interest. No. You know him. Our president is a president who is interested in due process, who wants things to be done properly and normal. But I think, I'm almost certain that what will make him happy is if we're able to conduct ourselves in a manner that the world will commend us.
Senator Hope Uzodinma, Executive Governor of Imo State and the Chair of the Electoral Committee of the APC. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Well, he's the Chair of the Planning Committee and the Electoral Committee of the APC, who's just spoken to us, giving us an update on what is going to happen and what has happened. And so far, that is the update that we have for you, Bukola.
Indeed, Sheol, thank you for the update. And if there's more to tell, of course, we'll keep tabs on you for updates on the APC presidential primary. Our correspondent there, Sheol Okimbalui, covering the APC National Convention and bringing us up to speed with events leading to the election of a presidential flag bearer for the party.